Hey guys, this is Jennifer Lynn. I'm the curriculum co-leader for Berkeley Shared Time Computers and Library Teachers. Welcome to my quick video tutorial on Screencastify. I decided to do this video because some of you who had expressed interest in learning about the extension were not able to make it to this morning's meeting. So I figure I would shoot this video tutorial in case you need a little bit of help getting it set up. I know it was a really short notice as far as the meeting went. I think I sent out the meeting invite last night for this morning. The reason I did that was because I knew a lot of you are kind of eager to try it out, and I didn't want to wait too long into the week before I had that meeting. That way, those of you who wanted to try it could get it started at the beginning of the week, and then maybe shoot me questions if you need throughout the week. So anyways, that's just my apologies for having that meeting on such short notice. But anyways, this is kind of what we went through. But before we get started, I just want to note that Screencastify won't let me access the mic or the webcam because Zoom is using it. So when I run the demo, I'm gonna have to disable a couple of those things before I can show you how it actually works. It just won't run if those two options were turned on. So, but everything else should be the same, and it should be pretty straightforward. So right now, my screen is shared. It's on a browser, a Chrome browser, that's on a website called Get Epic. And this is a ebook website that I use with my students during the school year. And right now, students can actually get free access to the app from home. So normally it is a free app for teachers to use, and it is free for students to use while they're inside the school building. But normally it would be, I think it was like $6.99 a month for them to be able to use this at home. Right now, because of COVID-19, Epic has given free access from home to all students that requested. So if you have any questions about how to get that resource out to your families, don't forget to email me. I can give you the information. It's pretty easy to set up. Anyway, so this is the Get Epic app, and I, for story time, basically use Screencastify and Get Epic to film the story. So the first thing you're gonna need is to download the Chrome browser if you don't already use Chrome on for internet browsing. So I have my Chrome browser open. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the Screencastify website. And by the way, Screencastify is not the only tool you could use for this purpose. Several people in the meeting today mentioned other apps. I used to use Camtasia. That was one that was mentioned this morning. There's also one called Audacity that was pretty good. It has a lot of editing functions that Screencastify doesn't necessarily have. But it might be, you might find that it's too complicated for what you're using it for right now. So Screencastify is just a lot simpler, in my opinion. So if you're just doing screencasts for the first time during remote learning, this is what I would recommend. But you can definitely look into it as you need. So here's the Screencastify website. For teachers, you have a couple of different options. You can use the free version, which is the version I started with, which gives you 5 minutes of video recording time at a time. And I think there's some editing features where you can basically trim off the beginning of the video if you wish, or the end of the video. But it doesn't let you edit anything in between. So I started out using the free version because that's all I really needed. My stories are usually pretty short. I can usually read one under 5 minutes. And I haven't really needed the editing features that the paid plan calls for. Now that we're in remote learning, I'm finding myself needing just a few more minutes on these videos, because a lot of times I'm not just doing story time, I'm also filming tutorials for my computer classes. And instead of doing a lot of like 5-minute videos that have to be viewed one after another, like a part 1 or part 2, I decided to go ahead and upgrade to the paid plan so that I have an unlimited number of minutes for my videos. I believe for teachers, that plan is $29 for the entire year. My school has said that they would reimburse me for that. I went ahead and just paid for it out of pocket, but if cost was a concern, that's something you can definitely look into, whether it's using money provided by Berkeley or through the school that you're assigned to. So anyway, so that's the pricing plan. You can look into that a little bit further for yourself. When you come to the website, now it shows here on the screen that I've already installed the extension. So yours, if you're installing it for the first time, will look different, but I'm not going to walk you through it. I can't, because I've already installed it. It's a very straightforward installation process. You do, I remember, need to sign in or sign up using a Google account, because everything is kind of tied to your Google Drive. So our school is a Google school, so that was not an issue for me. If your school doesn't have a Google account for you to use, you could probably just sign up using your personal email. I don't really remember that being an issue. So, just follow the on-screen instructions to get that set up. So once you have installed that extension, every time you open up your Chrome browser, that extension is going to show up on the upper right-hand corner, right here in that arrow. It's going to be next to your address bar. Okay, so that's the button you will have to click in order to start the recorder. So I'm going to go ahead and close this browser and then get back to my Epic screen. Okay, so what I would do normally is I would, from Epic, browse to the book that I want to read to my students. Okay, so let's say it's this book. Okay, and then once I'm ready, I can go ahead and click on the extension to the right of the address bar. Okay. So when I click that, the default screen that they're going to record is the browser tab. So basically anything that's happening within this browser tab will be recorded by default. Now, if you're doing a lesson where you're going to be going to a different website or even accessing something from your desktop, you would then choose the desktop option. Okay, and that way it depends on where you're jumping to and from, like everything will be recorded. Okay, but for today, because I'm just recording my ebook from the browser tab, I'm going to just go back to that option. Now, these are the two options I was kind of mentioning earlier. By default, these are set to enable. Okay, so the microphone, it's going to basically pick the system microphone that you have on your system. And then the embed webcam basically allow you to show your face as you're reading something or as you're doing a tutorial. Most of the time when I'm doing story time, I do have both enabled, for sure the microphone, right? But you might find that sometimes the webcam window gets in the way of what you're reading. So from time to time, I actually turn that off. I might leave it on just to during the greeting part. but sometimes I actually just turn it off. So for this tutorial, I'm actually going to turn both off and just have Screencastify capture what I'm doing on the screen. All right, so when you're ready, you basically click record. And mine's going to count down by threes. And then now basically it's recording what I'm doing on the screen. So what I would do is once it started counting down, I do my little intro. And then you can just flip the pages as you would reading any ebook with your screen shared. I really like Epic because in case you come across a word that you think the kids will need a definition for, you can actually highlight it, and when you click on it, the definition will show up. Notice how my screen is a little bit grayed out right now. That's because I have my mouse highlighter on. If you don't like that, and I don't use that all the time, you can actually turn that highlighter off. And that way your screen is actually just that bright color, right? I just turned that off. But that is actually a really good tool. All your Screencastify tools are on the bottom left. It allows you to highlight your mouse in case you're wanting to like highlight certain things that you're clicking. You can even hide your mouse because some kids can be distracted by too much mouse movement. So you can actually hide the cursor, and you can also highlight the clicks. So in this one, whatever you're clicking on, a red circle will pop up. So right now I didn't do that correctly. And it just kind of highlights whatever you're clicking on to the viewer. Okay. The button next to that mouse pointer option is the Annotating Pen. So when you click on that, you're able to annotate something on your screen. And that's a pretty useful tool when I teach computers. If I'm trying to highlight or really point out certain things on my screen, I can use that highlighting tool. If you teach something like computers, or sorry, not computers, math or science, and you have to write down an equation to show the kids, you can do that too on the screen. I personally do not like writing out or drawing anything using a mouse. I'm just really terrible at it. So at the end of this video, I'll give you another recommendation for doing a tutorial like that, okay, where you have to actually write on the screen. So that's about it. You can pause your video if you need to take a break from your tutorial. But when you're like done, you can actually just click on the end recording button right on your toolbar. Okay, you can do that here, or you can click on the Screencastify extension here again, and that will pop up the recording kind of controls. So as you can see right now, my video is paused, and I'm at about 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Again, the free version only gives you 5 minutes, so that's something to think about when you're thinking about plans and subscriptions. So I'm going to go ahead and click stop to stop the recording, and that way you'll see what happens after the recording. All right, so I click stop. Now this part sometimes can take a while. But basically, it will show you the video. You can actually unmute this video, and it will kind of show you what you've recorded. While you're looking at your video, you can, Screencastify is actually saving this file onto your Google Drive. So whatever account you use to sign in, it's going to save a copy of that to your Google Drive. So while it's doing that, let me just show you really quickly. This is the 2 little editing features that you have with the free version. You can trim the beginning. Okay, so let's say you just want to shorten the introduction or something. You can trim the beginning, and you can trim the end. I typically just do the trimming of the end part because sometimes I end up just flubbing the end because I'm so excited to get to the end. But that's something you could do. And then you would just, once it's done saving that link, you can just click Save Trim, and it would just update that file that's already saved to your drive. All right, so that didn't take very long because it was a pretty short video, but I want to show you a couple more things on this page. This button right here where it says Open in Editor, that is a feature that's available to you if you have the paid version of Screencastify. When you open that up, then you'll get to basically edit or do any sort of merging of different videos. I think that's even an option, but you can actually edit the middle parts of your video. Let's say you want to cut out something that you said, or even cut out like long pauses. So now that this file is in your Google Drive, you have several options. You can just simply copy the shareable link and then share that link out with your families or your students. Or you can view it on the drive, okay? Or what I do is either share the link directly to my Google Classroom, because again, I'm logged in using my school account, okay? Or I publish the video to YouTube. Now, this might be a really good habit to have if you have a professional YouTube channel. It's just a good way to build up your collection of videos. And I, during remote learning, have really just made a point to upload everything to that professional channel that I have. That way the kids can browse through my channel and find other videos that they might find helpful, but everything is in one place, and I don't have to physically share it through Google Drive every time they request a video. So that's just something to keep in mind. So when you click on this Publish to YouTube, it's going to give you a choice of which channel you want to publish to. Now, I just happen to have two channels, my school channel and then my personal account. So you basically would just choose that account and then choose your sharing options or your viewing options. For YouTube, for my YouTube channel, I basically have that set as a made for kids channel, which just means that anyone who finds the video can view it, but they cannot comment on the video. Okay, so that is something that you might want to consider when you're trying to decide which sharing option you want. Unlisted is a good option too. It's just anyone with the link can view the video, but they can't just browse your channel for that video, right? They have to have the link in order to find it. And then you just click upload. So I'm gonna say public and then click upload. It usually takes no more than like a minute to upload that link. I've had videos that are 20 minutes long, and it just takes just a few seconds. Once you have finished uploading that video, you can again copy that link and then share it with your students or families. And that's it. That's a pretty easy way to share your videos. And then the last thing I want to show you is this download tab or feature. So in case you want to have a copy of this video on your computer, you can do that. Sometimes I actually do this export as MP4 first, okay? Because that way, whatever is downloaded will be an MP4. So you can click this one first to kind of have it convert to an MP4, and then you can download that once that's done. So that's about all you need to know really about Screencastify to get started. Once you have a bunch of videos, you can click on this More tab on your screen, and then you can basically access all your videos in one place. And I think that's about it. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know. My email was shared to you, I think in last week's meeting, but it is linj, L-I-N-J, @gaschool.com. Or you can reach me at my Berkeley email at jennifer.lin, L-I-N, berkeleyschools.org. So I hope that was pretty straightforward and you can get started, but definitely reach out to me during the week if you run into any issues. Oh, and I forgot, I was going to tell you about an app that basically do the same thing, but it captures a whiteboard instead of your screen. So this is for any teachers who are like a math teacher or a biology or chemistry teacher that needs to write down equations, or that has to show something that's not readily shareable on the computer screen. The app is called Educreations. And the best way I think that I found for Educreations to be used is actually on an iPad. Unless your laptop has a touch screen that you can draw on with your finger or a stylus, I have a really hard time drawing or writing using my mouse. I can't do it for some reason. So when I use Educreations to create a lesson, I actually use it on my iPad. And so basically you start the app and you can record whatever you're doing on the screen. And so it's pretty easy. You can upload pictures as well that you can annotate. So like if you look at this little demo picture, this person has uploaded a map of the United States, but then he can then, or she can annotate right on top of it or draw on it and do their lesson on it while the screen is being recorded. So it's a pretty neat app for those teachers whose lessons are harder to show on the computer. I recommend it to a lot of my younger elementary school teachers, like the K3. Let's say they're showing a math problem. Well, it's really hard to do that on the computer screen. Unless you have a program that lets you do that. But I just find that Educreations is a really good solution for that type of lesson. I think I did a sample one where I have a picture of a clock and you can show how to tell time using that app. So that's something to consider. If you have any questions about that app, feel free to reach out to me and I can tell you more about it. But that's about it. I'm gonna finish recording this video and send it to you to the all staff email, so look for it. Thanks, and I will see you hopefully next Thursday for our computers and library share time check-in. Bye.